The greater good. Man, the greater good sounds really good, doesn't it? It's this concept that you're doing something that's good by definition, and you're actually helping the entire society. And sometimes even if you do some harm down the path and you follow astray, as long as it's the greater good, then the harm is justified because the overall, like when you draw the line, you're going to be on a plus. Yeah. Do you know, like, the way America used to view the greater good was by allowing the free market to exist. So the idea was that if you're a company and you're providing a service to the community, then people want to buy that service, and thus you're creating good. You are creating good for the community, because if you're not, then people don't buy your service, so you go bankrupt. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to this, but in large, it kind of makes sense. The fascists viewed it differently. The fascists viewed it that the country itself, the nation state, has a greater good to accomplish. And all of the companies within that nation state need to align themselves to the greater good. But the only problem is, like, who gets to decide what the greater good is? And in the case of fascism, it's the inner party members or the academia, the intelligentsia, which are controlled by the party. So if they're saying that this is how companies need to behave, then that's how companies need to behave, regardless if they're making a profit or not. Later down the line, people notice that, well, this is not a good thing, because if you have a bad dictator or a bad party leader, then they can lead the entire economy astray. But now in America, it does seem that a lot of companies are trying to accomplish this greater good, Twitch being one of them. You see, you have these private companies that are not just streaming services anymore. They're not just places where people can talk with each other. No, now they have a responsibility to prevent online harm. And I find this very interesting because in order to achieve this goal, they will monitor every single user and police every single person every single second they're on the platform. It's ridiculous, because if you look at the American spirit, and even left-leaning people would agree with this, it's like, no, stop and search isn't a good thing, because you're already assuming that the person has done something wrong. Like, if you put surveillance on a random person to see if they're going to do something bad, it's not okay. It's unjust, because you're assuming the person is a criminal before they committed the crime. But when you look at platforms like Twitch that are monitoring people not just on the platform but outside as well, and everyone is clapping, it's just like really bizarre and bewildering. It's like, is this the type of society that you want to live in? Because most people don't understand, this is not going to remain online. Politics is downstream from culture. And if every person experiences censorship in their day-to-day life by private companies, if every single person experiences surveillance by private companies, it's just not of a stretch to imagination that these people are then going to vote for politicians that advocate for the same practices, because they do not seem anything wrong with the practice itself. They just don't agree with people that are being targeted by these practices. So it's really sad to see what's happening. Like, again, Twitch is supposed to be a video gaming platform. Like, people just video gaming and putting it up there, and people should be able to see. That's it. If anything illegal happens, then it should be the authorities, the government, that gets involved. And working with Twitch, they can then bring the people to justice. But no, now on Twitch, you have various terms of service that don't have anything to do with whether something is criminal or not. Like, for example, this is the most bizarre TOS that I have ever seen on any platform. You're not allowed to suggest that a member of Twitch gets preferential treatment because they're having sex with one of the moderators. Like, let's just sink in how bizarre this has transformed to. Like, what? Is this even a large-scale problem that they managed to come up with this rule? And recently, there's something else that they did, and it goes to show how it's not the community asking for this. Most of the time, the community, and by the way, without the community, Twitch wouldn't exist, but most of the time, the community is not even being consulted when they're making these dumb decisions. So, in order to prevent real-life violence, apparently the Twitch Trust and Safety team have a pivotal role to play. Without them, society would denigrate into barbarism, but luckily for us, we have Twitch. Now, I don't know if Twitch is so unsafe and it's able to cause real-life violence. Why is it not just being shut down? Why do you even trust the people at Twitch's trust and safety to have the capability or the experience in order to manage this situation? They don't have experts there. They don't have like police officer or law enforcement that knows how to prevent real life harm. No, like if the platform is so dangerous that it causes real life problem, it needs to be shut down. Like that is a strong argument. Now, if you say, well, no, it's not that dangerous, then fine, stop policing people and just let it work. I mean, notice how a restaurant manager doesn't police the people in his restaurant. He's not responsible for what the people in the restaurant talk at the table. Imagine this dystopia where if you go to a restaurant, there's like an Alexa on your table that listens to what you're talking with the other people there. It's insane. But, well, this is what Twitch is now, okay? So, in order to prevent real-life harm, they decided to ban the PogChamp emote. This is the most dumb shit. Like, they actually believe. No, this is the mind of the Twitter moderator. Let's try to peer into it a little bit so we can get shocked together, okay? They believe that because of an emote, people have stormed the DC Capitol. Like, without that emote, that wouldn't have happened. Like, just like, no, seriously, these people are the ones that are making decisions. Like, that's how important they think they are. Like, they think they have the solution. Ban the emote. Like, if you ban the emote, all of this goes away. These people are interesting case experiments so that psychologists can study for years to come on what happens when you give some random citizens way too much power. Because you need to understand, like, these people aren't trained in anything. No. A company hired them to do a job. And because of that, they have way too much power over other people's income. And that's what they think they are. They think they're gods. You know, like, remember back in the 90s where you would actually go on a free internet and you had, like, the moderators on random channels and they could just ban, like, 20 or 30 people in an IRC chat? And those people acted like they're gods. Well, imagine the same people placed in a position where now they have the ability to interact with the income of hundreds of thousands of people. They have the god complex there, and they believe that, all right, we're going to ban this emote. Now, the reason they banned the emote is also very interesting. It's because PogChamp, which is a Street Fighter and I believe also a World Combat Championship winner, went on and had this statement on Twitter, so a completely different platform, where he said that, okay, well, after the DC riots, one of the women that participated there, by the name of Ashley, lost her life. And he asked the question, it's like, well, in the last couple of months, we had people protesting the fact that police officers have shot civilians. Are we going to see the same thing now? So it was just a question. It wasn't like an incitement to violence. There's no way you can even interpret this as an incitement to violence. Unless, like, everything you say now is just... It was a question. So Twitch decided to ban his emote. And I think they also decided to departner him. I'm not sure about that, so take it with a grain of salt. Like, what is this going to do? Like, the only thing that does is it shows that the people who are on Twitch are under constant surveillance, that even if you go outside their platform, you're still being monitored, and that the moderator team on Twitch believes they can social engineer society and calm people down by removing one emote. I don't know, man. Like, this is reality. Like, the reason most people deal with it is because they don't stop to think about it. It's just like the new normal. It's like, oh yeah, well, it makes sense. But if you actually just stop to think about it for a couple of seconds, you realize just how dumb this is. And now, okay, like, the nickname of the guy is PogChamp. Like, that's the nickname he chose. It's technically his intellectual property. But apparently we find out that now Twitch has taken his name and is rotating the PogChamp name and is putting the face of other streamers. So they're actually saying, you're today's PogChamp. That is so bizarre. Like they act like they own the guy now. Like, imagine AOC as a brand. And she kind of is a brand, right? Like, her face represents something to a lot of people. So imagine if she were to say something that I disagree with online, And then I say, all right, well, I'm going to ban her emoticon. Like, her face is not allowed on my platform. But then I change my mind and I'm going to give other people the AOC brand and say, okay, your today is AOC. Like, that's what they're doing right now. Do you understand this? I don't even know if they legally can do this. But they probably can, because I don't think PogChamp like trademarked his name. But it's still unethical. It's immoral. I mean, it's his name. It's his nickname. He came up with it, and it represents his brand. And you're just now taking that and giving it to random people. I don't even know if they have his consent to do this. But apparently, like, the people they're doing it, now they're getting harassment. Now, Twitch is an insanely progressive platform. I mean, just pick any single talking head on Twitch. Show me just one, and I'm not even going to say conservative. Show me one centrist on Twitch that just does like a, average talk show. I can show you a bunch of communists. I can show like people that want to end the bourgeoisie and they want to murder the 1% and whatnot. You can find that on Twitch, but I don't think you can find a single centrist. I will be shocked. I will make a Pikachu face if you show me a single person that's on the center. Give him the political compass test and show me that person manages to at least come on the center. Maybe at least on the libertarian side. Let's put it like that, okay? So far away from the authoritarian bullshit. I don't think you can. So you're telling me that a progressive place like Twitch has harassment on their platform. You're telling me that with an entire book of terms of service, you still have harassment on your platform? Okay, fine. Who resigns for this? Which one of the people from the Twitch moderator team is going to step down for being incompetent? Either they're incompetent or they hate these people that they put their faces on the new PogChamp thing. They really hate these streamers, and it's like, you know what, let's send some harassment their way. Because it's going to be funny. I don't know which one is it. But like, surely one of these people that are in charge with preventing harm should resign. Like, they should be, you know what, you done fucked up. If I was a doctor and I botch a surgery, I get fired, right? Why don't these people ever get held to account? They want the responsibility, not I. They want to be held responsible, so hold them the fuck responsible. When there is harassment on Twitch, someone from the Trust and Safety Council needs to come up, make a public apology, and depending on the size and scope of the harassment, they should step down. You see how kind I am? I even said depending on the size and scope. Because these people, you make one mistake if you're a Twitch streamer, you're God. Like, that's it. But no, my God, like, the empathy and compassion and kindness that I am capable of showing is able to move people to tears. So I'm like, no, depending on the scope. Maybe, like someone got a little bit of harassment. Then we can just give him a slap on the wrist. Like, hey, you missed the spot. This guy just got called a poopy head in his chat. Not okay. Moderator man. Not okay. But like, where there is apparently an entire article on Polygon describe. And by the way, it's always the people to blame. It's never the establishment, in this case, at the company, right? It's never the higher-ups that are. It's always the customers that are to blame. Every single goddamn time, the customers. Yeah. No, the customers are never to blame. It's the establishment. They done fucked up. Anyway, right. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you guys in the next video.